Good morning. So today we are going to learn about is desertification, causal factors, and management. So, what do you understand by desertification? So, desertification is basically, uh, you know, uh, a process of turning a natural environment into a arid region. So, let's first understand what is a desert. A large, dry, barren region, usually having sandy or rocky soil and a very little or no vegetation over it. So, water lost or are with high evaporation and evapotranspiration in desertic regions. So, it exceeds the amount of precipitation in these areas. So, most desert that is averagely receives less than 25 centimeter of precipitation each year. Now, it is concentrated in short local bursts of areas. So this is a map of showing the world distribution of deserts uh, in the world. Okay, so approximately one third of the largest of Earth's land surface is desert. Okay, that is arid land with minor rainfall and support only sparse vegetation and limited population of people and animals. Okay, like India, she has the seventh largest desert, that is Thar Desert, Sahara Desert. Okay, then we have Kalahari Desert. Then we have Namibia Desert. Then we have uh, what do you call Atacama Desert. Then we have Gobi Desert, that is cold desert. Okay, so they are all part of desert where we have limited vegetations. Desertification is a type of land, degradation in dry land, into the dry lands in which biological productivity is lost due to the natural process or indices by human activities, whereby fertile areas becomes increasingly arid. So it is the spread of arid areas caused by a variety of factors such as climate change and exploration of soil as a result of human activities. Throughout geological history, the development of desert has occurred naturally. So, in recent times, the potential influence of human activities, improper land management, desertification, and climate change on desertification is the subject of many scientific investigation. So, desertification is the process by which natural or human cause reduces the biological productivity of that area of dry land, that is arid or semi-arid land, and declines the productivity may be the result of climate change or overgrazing or poverty or political instability, unsustainable irrigational practices, combination of all the factors above. So the concept does not refer to the physical expansion of existing desert, but rather that it is a various process that threatens dry lands, dryland ecosystem, including desert as well as grassland and shrublands. So it is desertification is a threat on dryland ecosystems. Okay, so the global reach of desertification, that is slightly less than half of the Earth's ice-free land surfaces, that is approximately about 52 million square kilometer of dry land, and these dry land covers some of the world's most economically low country, and these and United Nation Environmental Program noted that the desertification has a greater affected about 30 million square kilometer in these areas of the land, and it is bringing out an global concern to be taken in account. So, according to United Nations Convention to combat desertification, the lives of about 250 million peoples are affected by desertification, and as many as about 130 million people may be displaced by the desertification by 2045. Okay, so making it one of the most severe environmental challenge facing by the humanity. Okay, so like again, definition of the word, like as recently it is 2005, considerably controversially exist over a proper definition of the term desertification. So Hewlett just in 2005 identify more than 100 formal definitions to define these areas. So most widely accepted of these was that the Princeton University dictionary explains that, which says that the process of fertile land transferring into desert, typically as a result of a desertification or a drought or an improper or inappropriate agricultural practices. So however, this original understanding that the desertification involves physical expansion of desert has been changed by the concept that has been evolving. So the desertification has been identified as the in text of United Nations Convention to combat desert. Okay. Now the land degradation in arid and semi-arid land or dry or to semi-humid region resulting from various factors including climate variation, human activities are part of it. Now, there exist also controversies around the subgrouping of type of desertification, including examples like validating validity and usefulness of such items, such as man-made desert and non-pattern deserts. Okay, desertification is typically it is type of a land degradation in which a relatively drier region becomes increasingly arid, more dry, and typically losing its body of water, whatever moisture it has, as well as vegetation and wildlife cover. So it is also caused by various factors, like desertification has a significant global and economical environmental problems. Okay, so when we address these problems, we see that arid let is lacking moisture, especially having insufficient rainfall to support trees and woody plants. Let's cover a little bit of historical aspect of these areas. The world's most noted deserts have been formed by natural processes, that is interaction over long interval of time. During most of these time, the desert have grown and sunken, independent of human activities. Like paleo deserts are large sand seas, now interactive because they are stabilized by vegetation, some extending beyond the present margin of core desert such as Sahara, the largest hot desert that is there. The historical evidence shows that this serious and extensive land deterioration occurring for several centuries ago in arid region had three epicenters. So these are Mediterranean, no, Mesopotamian valley, Laos plateau of China, where population is very dense. Uh, the, the earliest known decisions of this topic that has rose soon after the French colonization of West Africa, when the Chem Etude Commission a study has said that to explore the prehistoric expansion of Sahara Desert. Okay, now these category, there is a category of desertification, that is the light desertification. In this type of desertification, a very slight damage occur in vegetation cover and soil. This damage does not affect the biological capacity of the environment and can be neglected or can be overlooked. Moderate desertification, that is the medium degree of damage of vegetation cover, occurs and the formation of a small sand dunes and salination of the soil, which reduces production by about 10 to 25%. Okay. Severe desertification in this type, spreading of weeds and unwanted shrubs in pastures that expands for desired and uh, wanted erosional activity also happens, which affect the vegetation cover and reduce the production up to 50%. A very severe affected desertification is that in this type of desertification, composition of active naked gray land or feature, sand dune occurs and formation of grooves and valleys and salination of soil, which leads to soil degradation, also happens in these areas. So it is the most serious types of desertification that happens. Now, what causes desertification? Now we have to understand what causes desertification. There are four main factors in desertification, like drought, overgrazing, overcultivation, trees used for fuel and shelter. Okay. Uh, Now let's take a case study first. Before going into cause of desertification, like Africa is the continent most affected by the desertification. So one of the most obvious natural boundary borders of landmass is the southern edge of Sahara Desert. So the country that lies on the edge of the Sahara are among the poorest in the world, and they are subjected to periodic drought spells. So drought that devastate these people are on the fringes of the outskirts of the Sahara Desert. So African drylands, which include Sahara, Kalahari, and the grasslands of East Africa, that spreads over of about 20 million square kilometer, and some of about 65% of the entire continental land span. So one third of the Africa's dry land are largely inhabited in a arid desert land. So it is uninhabited. So if you go in these areas, they are very sparsely populated countries. So while remaining the two-third support the two-third of the continent, uh, burgeoning, that is human population, it is burgeoning with the human population. As Africa population increases, the productivity of the land supporting this population also declines. So some of the one-fifth of the irrigated cropland in these areas, like the three-fifth of the rain-fed cropland, and the three-fourth of the uh, rangeland have been least or moderately harmed by the desertification. So, like causes and like again coming back to causes and consequences of desertification. So, in general, desertification is caused by variations in climate and unstable land management practices in dry environmental regions. So, by their very nature, the arid and semi-arid ecosystem are characterized by sparse or variable rainfall. So climatic change, such as as those that results in extended drought, can rapidly reduce the biological productivity of those ecosystems. So such change may temporarily lasting only a season or may persist over many years and decades. So on other hand, the plants and animals are quickly to take advantage of winter period, and productivity can rapidly increase during these time, right? But since dryland environment are used for a variety of human purposes, like such as agriculture, animal grazing, fuel wood collection, and all those areas, so various activities undertaken in them can accelerate the problem of desertification and bring out the lasting change of drylands and ecosystem in the areas. So like in 1977, United Nations Conference on Desertification, Nairobi, in Kenya, representative delegates and the first contemplated the world effect of desertification. Okay, so United Nation had seen the phenomena. In addition, that the delegates that consider the various consequences of desertification, such as crop failure and decrease the yield in the rain-fed farmlands. So the loss of perennial plants, plant covers, and thus loss of foliage. Perennial plants, the long-lasting plants, the trees, the big trees that have a very long lifespan, are declining, and the foliage is also declining because of it. Okay, so thus it is also affecting the livestock, reduces the woody biomass, and thus the scarcity of fuel wood and building the material, and building material, and a decrease in potable water stock from reduction in the surface water. So the groundwater reduction, groundwater also flow reduces the surface water, also reduces, increase sand dunes, incursion into the cropland, and settlement increases the flooding due to rise in sedimentation in the river and lakes. So and amplifies the air and water pollution from the dust sediments and all those things. Okay. uh, there are areas that are affected by desertification. To better understand this, that we need to understand is that areas that are in listed can be grouped into broad categories, like irrigated cropland, rain-fed land, grassland, and dry woody lands. Irrigated cropland, whose soil are often degraded by the accumulation of salt, like where you are indulging into over irrigation. So because of over irrigation, accumulation of salt can convert, reduce the fertility of that land. Then you have rain-fed cropland, in which experiences unreliable rainfall and wind-driven soil erosion. Okay, so uncertainty or uneven precipitation in these areas, or rain in areas, will lead to a prolonged dry spell, can leading to uh, uh, a desertification in an overall region. Now, grazing lands which are harmed by overgrazing, soil compaction and erosion happens because of grassland, or the grazing land, or the pastures. Any pasture land will have, when will face an over threat of overgrazing, will face a threat of soil compaction and soil erosion. Okay. Then ultimately we coming to dry woody lands, which are plagued by the overconsumption of the fuel, wood fuel. Okay, are part of desertification. Now, taking a drought, and that is a long period without rainfall, cause crops to die, lack of food, and may have moved to, people may find themselves to new pasture lands or new area where to in search of food or water. Overgrazing, too many animals grazing on land, animal eating all the vegetation and fails to grow or regenerate again with overgrazing. Soil is exposed to rain and wind, and hence soil erosion will be accelerated. Uh, Soil is washed off by blown away winds, and resulting in uh, blowouts. Over cultivation, many crops being grown in a land for years, and without no crop rotation, that can reduce the nutritive value of that land and can cause infertility of that land, because there is no crop to protect the soil, and then reduction of the soil, crop production there. When there is no crop left over the land, it will be more susceptible to wind and water erosion. So removal of the trees from the fuel land, fuel land shelters are, there are few trees in the desert and their roots hold the soil together. So when the trees are removed from for firewood or to build shelters or houses, the root dies and the soil becomes loose. So yet another, and yet it can gain a means of soil erosion and easily blown away by heavy rainfall. So, areas that are affected, like here we say that dryland occupy approximately about 40 to 41% of the Earth's area and are home to more than 2 billion people. Okay, they are home to more than 2 billion, 2 million, billion people, and it has been estimated that some of about 10 to 20% of the drylands are already degraded. The total area affected by desertification being between the 6 to 12 miles square kilometer, about that is about 1 to 6% of the inhabited or inhabitation of the dry lands. Okay. Drylands living in desertified areas, and this billion people are under the threat for furthermore desertification. As of 1998, the 10 current degree of southward expansion of Sahara was not well, was very was not very popular. So due to the lack of recent or measurable expansion of the desert into the Soheli region at that time, had no record. So the impact of the global warming and human activities are presented in the Sohel, Sahel. So in the areas, the level of desertification is very high compared to the areas in the world. So all areas suited in the eastern part of Africa are characterized by dry climate, hot temperature, and low rainfall for about 300 to 750 millimeter per year. So drought are the rules in the so droughts are the rule in Sahel region, Sahel region in the African continent. Uh, some study have shown that the Africa has lost approximately 650 thousand kilometers square kilometers of its productivity agricultural land over past 50 years. So the propagation of desertification in the area is considerably high. So the climate of the Sahara has undergone numerous variations over last few hundred years, mm, few hundred thousand years, like oscillating between wet grassland, dry desert, to every 20,000 years, a phenomena believed to be caused by a long-term change in the African climate cycle that altered the path of North African monsoon, caused by approximately about 40 thousand years cycle, in which the axial tile of Earth changed between about 20 degree to 24.5 degree. Some statistics have shown that since 1900, Sahara has extended by 250 kilometers to the south over a stretch of land for a vast of east about 6,000 kilometers long. So the survey done by Research Institute of Development had demonstrated that this means the dryness is spreading faster in Sahelian countries. Okay, Sahelian countries, like 70% of the arid areas deteriorated, and the water resources have also disappeared, leading to soil degradation. So the loss of topsoil means the plants cannot take root firmly and can be uprooted by torrential water or strong winds. So United Nation Convention says that uh, about of million Sahelian citizens should would have to give up de- desertification zone of sub-Saharan Africa for North African Europe between 97 to 2020. So the Lake Chad, located in Sahel region, has been hit particularly hard by the phenomena caused by the lake drying up is due to the irrigational withdrawal and the annual rainfall dropping. So the lake has sunken below about 90% since 87. So displacing millions of inhabitants. Recently, efforts have been managed to make some progress towards the restoration, but is still considered to be a risk of disappearing entirely, right? So when there is a threat of these areas entirely disappearing over a period of time. Now another area that is being impacted by desertification, that is Gobi Desert. Currently, Gobi Desert is the fastest moving desert according to some researchers. The Gobi Desert uh, shallow, swallow, shallow up about 33 kilometers, uh, and land of about annually, you know, uh, in an annual rate. So this has destroyed many villages in the park. Currently, there are areas, evidence that shows that COVID had expanded to a point entire enters the nation of Croatia. And just hold on. Yeah. Yeah. So it is affecting the areas of Croatia and some parts of China as well. In Mongolia, it is around 90% of the grassland is considered vulnerable to desertification by United Nations. Okay, so United Nations has identified that 90% of Mongolia grassland is affected by desertification, and an estimate of about 13% of desertification in Mongolia is caused by natural factors. The result is due to human influence, particularly overgrazing and increased erosion of the soil in cultivated areas. The area of Mongolia, a Mongolian land covered by sand, has increased by about 8.7% over past 40 years. Now, this change have accompanied the degradation of 70% of Mongolian pasture land. As a result, overgrazing and climate change, the Mongolian government had listed forest fire, uh, you know, blights, unstable forestry, and mining activities as leading cause of desertification in the country. So more recent study also report grazing as a leading cause of desertification, as well as transition from sheep to goat farming in order to meet export demand and cashmere wool. So the compared to sheep, goats do more damage to grazing land by eating roots and flowers altogether. So, country to counter, measure, and prevention of the desertification. How do we counter and measure these? Desertification recognizes a major threat to biodiversity, and some countries have developed biodiversity action plan to counter its effect, particularly in relation to the protection of endangered flora and fauna. The culture of prevention requires a change in the government and people in an attitude towards prevention and initiative. Reforestation, exfoliation of soil, counter trenching, managed natural regeneration, and managed grazing are part of it. Afforestation, that in natural or international restocking of extinct forest and woodland have been depleted. So usually through the deforestation, reforestation can be used to improve the quality of human life by soaking up population and dust from their areas, rebuild the natural habitat and ecosystem, mitigate global warming since a forest facilitates bio-sequencing of atmospheric carbon dioxide and harvesting of the resources. The term reforestation is similar to that of afforestation, the process of restoring the and recreating area of woodland of the forest that may have existed long ago, but were deforested or otherwise removed at the same point in the past. Afforestation of a large area can be done through the use of measuring ropes, uh, and if, wheeled gauge or planting large trees over making the hole in which the seeds or the plants can be inserted. Indigenous soil inculcation can also be taken up and can have a potentially used to increase the survival rate in a hardy environment. Okay. Fixation of the soil fixation technique can prevent it. Fixating the soil is often done through the use of shelter beds, wood lots, and windbreakers are made from trees and bushes that are used to reduce the soil erosion and evapotranspiration. So some soil, like for example clay, due to lack of water, can become consolidated rather than porous, and some techniques, tillage, are then used to till low planting crops. Shelter beds, like this, shelter beds can be taken up where you can prevent the soil prevention. Tillage, you can use less tilting of the soil. Contour farming can be used to prevent soil erosion. Farming management of natural areas, like regeneration techniques, that has produced successful result for desert reclamation, and it is a simple and low cost method of farming of regenerating, and that is about 30,000 square kilometer. That process is involved in enabling the native sprouting tree growth through selective pruning of the shrubs and shoots. Okay. The managed grazing, we can have a controlled grazing pattern here. Method produced to restore grassland by using fence with many small padlocks, and moving herd from one padlock to another after a day or two, in order to mimic natural grazers and allowing the grasses to grow optimally. Research related to desertification, like Africa's Sahel, like I have told you, there's a as we have discussed, just 25 years after the Great Drought, accessing the process of and moving towards a new agenda and approaches to manage the drought-like situations in these areas. Sahel, that is a semi-arid areas of shrubs and desert stretched over many countries like Ethiopia, Eritrea, Djibouti, then North Nigeria, Somalia are part of Sahel lands. They speak Swahili language. Okay, so desertification in these Sahel is progressing as a in a disturbing rate, affecting of about 25,000 hectares per each year. So the reason of desertification in these areas were again human overgrazing, environmental unsound policies by the government, lack of education, poor irrigation practices, environment and physical factors, or the natural phenomena which is already existing in these areas. So approaches allowed by them is like they have taken up contour stone bounding, that is trapping the organic material, leaving leaves that withstand the the loss of soil erosion in these areas. So this distribute water evenly over field, even when the rain, and trap the organic material can be tracked through crosses. So the field eventually turning to humus and improve the quality of the soil. There's 10,000 people in more than 500 village in Mali have been taught in this technique, and this villages collectively contour stone bounding have been used in more than 10,000 hectares of land. UNDP, that is United Nations, UNDP has worked on United Nations dryland project in Swahili regions, and have been using various techniques to prevent barriers for wind and water erosion in these areas. uh, Delhi filtration is also part of it. So permeable rock dams, the structures that are typically along the low dam of loss of stone structures in gully and cross valley regions. So because the lack of spillway, the dam force flood water to spread over their length, which are reduced to excavate forces, and they are also forced water of filtration, and resulting a large quantity of sedimentation being deposited in these areas. Then you have great green wall building up in these regions. This great green wall are project developed by African United Union to face the desertification in the South Sahara. So they are building a large line of green tree plantation in these regions to prevent the expand of desertification furthermore into the southern region. Now, there is a it is a great environmental transformation in Africa, and the green belt of these tree expands of about 7,750 75 kilometer long, with a thickness of about 15 kilometer thick. So the trees shade and bulk help offer crop a relief from the overwhelming heat and gusting winds in these regions. So they spun out across the 11 countries in Africa. So it is taken from one end to another end of African continent. Why it is large scale afforestation effort in China have also failed to solve the desertification problems here. So the main areas of desertification in China are currently located in the north western part of the country, including the Inner Mongolia and the Xinjiang autonomous region, that is Xishan and Qinghai and Jiangxi province, that and other may areas in nearby regions. The climate of the northwestern China appears to have was suitable for afforestation owing to low rainfall. So the historically the forested areas of China have been distributed to east of 500 millimeter precipitation ISO line, which comprises China's humid and semi-humid region. In contrast, northwest China has semi-arid or arid climate and 50 to 500 millimeter of precipitation, resulting into natural vegetation and grassland or desertic areas in these areas. So the previous attempt to solve the desertification problem by the means of afforestation have failed, and several times in the northwestern region of the country. Uh, Although it is likely that some efforts in the northwestern region of China was successful in areas with access to more water than the regional average. So there seems to be little evidence that the trees are capable of surviving in areas with less than 500 millimeter of precipitation. There is no historical evidence that the trees were ever capable of surviving under these conditions there or not. Okay, so this is all about your desertification in a global scale. Thank you and have a nice day.